Okay, we'll just put a new outlet in here. We'll put a brown one in here, so we'll put a nice new ivory one here so they're all matching. I can't find my tester, I can't find it, and I'm not going to get all bent out of shape about it either. It's not here, it's not here. Make sure it's off. Okay, it's off. We always save our screws. Let's see what kind of a job we have in this box. Wow, they got the insulation pinched under the screw here, and it's around the screw backwards. That one is sloppy, and see how bad the ground wire is hooked up? See how the insulation is pinched under the screw head there, and it's around the screw backwards? That's a very poor connection. They did a sloppy job with this ground wire here. Alright, our box is a little bit bent here, so I'll straighten that out. And there's no screw hole to bond to our box, and the wire is going to be too short anyway, so all we can do is ground it to the box, and we're not going to complain about it. We'll be thankful we can ground it to the outlet. And we'll open up our loops here. Get our broken junk out of here. Okay, so we'll close the screws we're not going to be using. So we'll put our ground wire around our green screw here. We'll fix our loop a little bit better. The brown goes on the green screw. The white wire goes on the silver screw, which is the neutral side, which is the wide slot. Here in the country I was born in, the black is live, the white is neutral, and the bare of the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live on a 110, 120 volt switch loop or on a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we'll make our loop the direction our screw turns here. There we go. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. And now we'll just push our device back into our box. We'll keep our ground wire down here at the bottom. Make sure it's down away from everything here. We'll just screw it into the box. Push it down so it stays away from everything. The ground wire, that is. Make sure it's tight. Tight. And we'll put a new cover on here after they paint the walls. Make sure our screw's not hitting anything. And we are good. We're just going to check the connections on this outlet here because we saw some pretty bad stuff. Okay, so this one's still live. Okay, I went downstairs and I hope it's off. But if it's not, it's not. We're not going to get all bent out of shape. Doesn't change anything. It's off. So you can see the insulation is pinched under the screw head there. I'll flip it around over here. See how the insulation is under the screw head? And they don't have the copper under the screw head all the way around on our ground wire. See how sloppy that is there? I'll turn it around this way. See how bad that is? See how tightening the screw there mashed the insulation down? loop our loop to go around the green screw the right direction here. We'll strip these wires. We'll just cut these off and make new strips here. Might take off about an inch. We'll clip our ground wire back some too. Make our loop the direction our screw turns. Here in the country I was born in, your white goes on the silver screw, the wide slot. Your black goes on the brass screw, the narrow slot. And your ground wire goes on this green screw. So we'll put our ground on our green screw here. We'll close our loop the direction our screw turns. Always go the direction your screw turns. Nobody knows. Okay, I'm going to make our loop a little bit better. I'm just going to latch on. Close our loop like that there. Make sure it's tight. I'll flip it around. Get our black on our brass colored screw. Make sure it's tight like that, and our copper is under the screw head all the way around. And it's tight. And now we can put our device back into our box. We're going to keep our ground wire down here at the bottom. So we'll bend it over this way and keep it down, and we'll push our black and our white in like this, and we'll push our ground wire down so it stays away from everything. That one's done. So let's see what we have on this one here. Make sure our power is off. This one's all busted up. See how it's all busted up? Oh, okay, this is newer wiring, and they backstabbed it, and they put the ground wire around the screw the wrong direction, so we'll loosen that up. I'll just take the screw right out, make it simpler. Just pull the wires out of the hole, and they don't, see how those holes don't hold the wires very good? So we'll just open up our ground wire here, we'll make a nice new loop, and we'll restrip our wires. Get some nice new strips here. Okay, we happen to have one more newer outlet, so we'll put it in. Okay, so we'll put it in, do our white and ground first, because we'll put our ground down at the bottom. Make sure it's tight and our insulation's not pinched. Get our ground wire up here. Get a nice connection like that. Flip around here, we'll get our black around our brass screw. Okay, make sure we get a nice solid connection there. Copper's under the screw head all the way around, and now we can put our wires back into our box. So we'll keep our ground wire down here at the bottom, and we'll keep it down at the bottom here, and we'll push it into the box. The cover screw down here in the bottom, since the wires are kind of close to that area there, so we don't hit them with the screw. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. And we'll put the cover back on after they paint. And this is the broken outlet we took out. See how it's all busted up there? It was 79 cents at True Value. And this is the last outlet here. This is the one that the refrigerator plugs into. Let's check our connections here. The outlet is good, so just make sure it's off again. Okay, our ground wire is very sloppy there. See how sloppy it is there? Left all that extra copper under there. And we'll just pull our wires out of the back stabs here. There we go. I'll strip them a little bit longer so we can get a nice wrap around our screws. And I'll clip them back just a bit too. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so I'll get the dirt off of here. And see how they left these screws opened on here? So let's get our dirt out of here. So we'll put our black around our brass colored screw. Make the loop the direction your screw turns here. Close your loop the direction your screw turns. Make sure you get your copper under the screw head all the way around like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we'll flip it this way. We'll get our white wire around our silver screw here. I don't like the back stabs because you don't get a very good connection with that. Okay, there we go. We got it nice and tight. Make sure it's tight. We'll get our ground wire around our green screw. Close the loop the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's tight like that. Now we can put our box wire into our box. We'll keep our ground wire down. We'll put it towards the back like this. We'll fold our black and white so they don't pinch against anything. And we'll just screw our device back into our box. Make sure our screws aren't going to hit the wires. And we'll put the cover back on. They're not going to paint back here right away, so I'll put this cover back on. Alrighty, we'll stick our cover back on here. And we are all set.